What is up everyone? In this video, we're gonna do a tier list. And before we go any further, I would like to let you know that everyone has their own opinion and their playstyle. Therefore, tier list that I'm going to be showing you might offend you and your main character, of course. But to make you feel a little bit better, I have invited a special guest so that it'll be more understanding for you to, see the tier list and try to forgive me. So we have invited over Mr. Code. Hello, Code.
Hello, Tenha. We're here, and I'm ready to offend a lot of people with the tier list. The reason why tier lists are kind of like a touchy subject sometimes for most people, it's like most people walk into a tier list with like an opinion, right? An idea already in mind where some characters should be or might be, or they even have bias towards character that they themselves own, right? So whenever a tier list is posted and the opinions of the tier list are different than their own beliefs, right? They start to mold really hard because I guess for people, it's really hard for them to have a change of opinion, right? It's really hard for them to try and see another perspective just because they have these characters. They either spend money or they got lucky enough to roll for this character so that they want to defend that character till their very last breath, right? They have it, so they believe it's good, right? So
Yes.
then again, right? Tier list is just tier list. It's just different opinions. Just leave it at that so that people don't get super upset, right? You can clear the current Genshin Impact, all of the content, with like whichever character you get, right? If I can clear Abyss 12 with Lisa, you can too. You can clear with anything. I don't mind. So yeah.
Yes. So in order for us to come up with a tier list, we have to come up with the criteria. And we have came out with most important thing that we see for a character would be whether if it can be replaceable or not. So tier 0, of course, would be irreplaceable. So Venti, Zhongli, Xingqiu, and Bennett, of course. Tier 1, they are replaceable, but they have good performance. So we have Hu Tao, Mona, Ganyu, Child, Diluc, Klee, Xiao, Jin, Albedo, Ningguang, Xiangling, Noelle, Sucrose, and Diona. Tier 2, replaceable, but not as good. And we have Chongyun, Chi-Chi, Kaya, Keqing, Geo Traveler, Fischl, Barbara, Xinyang, Razor, and Lisa. So keep that in mind, this is my list. And tier 3 is buff please. We have Amber, Beto, and Wind Traveler. So I will tell you the reason why I think some of the characters are like here. Tier 0, irreplaceable. That means they are really nice. It's really nice to have them. But I wouldn't say they're like necessary to play the game, right, Code?
Yeah, I don't think they're necessary, but they sure make it a lot easier.
Yes. So the reason why I have Venti, Zhongli, Xingqiu, Bennett is because with those 4 characters, you can build a lot of the teams. So I had to think about that in order to come up with this tier list. And tier 1, I really wanted to put Hu Tao in tier 0 because I really like her, right? But to be honest, all those DPS can be replaceable. So that is the reason why I have those. Diona is a great support, but Code, do you agree with the list or disagree? And if you do disagree, can you tell me which character you don't agree with?
Well, I mean, since we were talking about Diona, and well, she's like a stable character of all my team comp nowadays. Diona really doesn't offer damage to your team, but then again, yeah, she is like a super support with the barrier and the healing, yeah? Her barrier is like a 2-second downtime, so you almost always have it up, right? And her field healing, although it's rather slow, the healing is really potent, right? For most of the time, Diona barrier is weaker than Zhongli barrier, but then again, the biggest benefit of her barrier is that she also generates 4 energy particles for your team, plus you have Favonia. So I talked about this before, but for every other barrier character on the game, when you press your barrier skill, you can't switch characters. You have to finish the cast time. Diona can switch character during the cast time. It's something very minor, but it allows so that, you have more time for your damage character to stay on the field, and she really does have to stay on the field just for her barrier strength, yeah?
Okay, so you don't agree with Diona only, or is there more?
Well, I don't like Xiangling and Noelle up on tier 1.
Okay.
Because I think everyone knows that I enjoy building my character on high energy recharge because I want them to keep maintaining their burst combos over and over.
Okay.
I really don't like Xiangling and Noelle, because Noelle E does not generate any energy. She requires another ally to help her energy. And Xiangling, even though on paper her Q and her E, Goba, it does a lot of damage overall, Goba is too inconsistent. She never gets her ult. I guess with Favonius Lance, it kind of fixes it.
Yeah, I just instantaneously kind of knew what he was gonna say because Xiangling and Noelle, they cannot generate a lot of energy by themselves. They need battery characters. I see. So everyone has their different criteria on those tier lists, right? And you build them differently. So I totally understand the reason why he would put Xiangling and Noelle below tier 2, probably. But tier list is tier list. So for those of you who have been playing Genshin Impact for a long time, you're probably watching this video because you want us to agree that your main character is tier 0, right? I didn't want those F2P users to come in and look at this game, looking at those tier lists and thinking, oh, I need to make another account, try to do more rerolls. I just want them to get started and play the game because this game, you don't need 5-star characters to play. Right, Code?
Yep, all you need is get lucky on Artifact. And on that note of 5-star characters, I think we tried our best not to put any 5-star character below tier 1 just because it's gonna piss off a lot of people when their 5-star character isn't good, you know? But it's like the tier 1 to tier 3 right here, only tier 3 is really not as good, right? They're all usable and it's really hard to judge a character on a tier list because you kind of sometimes have to judge them based on the team comp they're most used in, right? Rather than on themselves, right?
Yes.
Like if I were to use Chongyun on a proper team comp, I'd say he's tier 1. Like a proper melt comp with like good reactions. You can do a melt into a reverse melt.
Yes,
and
yes.
he'll be like tier 1 or higher, right? But he feels limited is what I'm trying to say, right? So we're just trying our best to judge the character, right? By themselves and somewhat by a team, yeah? I prefer more to judge them by a team rather than by themselves because for me at least, the concept of main DPS kind of fades away the longer you get into the game and you get to the point where all your characters can be DPS.
Yes, so I am aware, we are both aware that Chongyun has a really good comp in Abyss with those 4-star characters like for example, Xingqiu, Bennett, Chongyun, and Xiangling. If you build them all as a DPS or sub DPS with a lot of energy charge, then they can be a godly team comp for Spiral Abyss. I am aware of that. But besides that, like, to be honest, it's not recommended for those people who just started the game because everyone would have a limited resource to build a DPS. Like, even for me, I spent a lot of money. I always like recharge Regents, but I cannot build 4 DPS like that. If I do, then my other DPS will fall out because they're going to be using not as good artifacts. So if you were to build 4-star characters like that with all those good artifacts, I would rather have you build 5 stars. But that's what I think. I mean, it's more fun. They have more skills. It's more fancy. I mean, if you can build those 4-star characters to work really well, I suggest you to become a YouTuber and make a video and be famous. I did say that for tier 0, you can make a lot of teams around them. So I have Venti, Zhongli, Xingqiu, and Bennett. You can even make a team with these 4.
Exactly, yeah. It's for these characters, it's not like what character do you bring with them. The question's the other way around. What team do you want these characters on, right? You can pretty much throw them anywhere, right?
Yes, yes.
For the case of Venti, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, right? He's just a vacuum cleaner. I think his biggest selling point is that, you know, the Viridescent set, he can just farm the 4-star set and +0. Like, all the artifact can be +0 and he'll just work, right? That's just how absurd he can be.
Yes, yes.
He needs no investment in artifact, no investment in constellation or, you know, talent level if you're just using him for the resistance shred. But then if you build him well and you actually invest to him to make him like a sub DPS with crit damage, crit rate and stuff, his E actually does around like 30k damage or something later on.
Okay, if you were to talk about Zhongli, like we already know how broken he is right now, because he protects your DPS. And also at the same time, without being him on the field, he can lower the res for all the elements around the shield that he created with his hold E. So I would say he's really stupid now. He's broken, and his Q does a lot of damage as well. For Zhongli's weapon, you can use all those 5-star weapons also, as well as 4 stars, and 3-star weapon called Black Tassel. It gives you HP percentage. It's really good. Like in Spiral Abyss, you have to face a lot of slimes, and it's actually really good to kill them. So for Zhongli, he kind of works like Venti. A little weird because like animal characters, they help you lower their risk by using 4-piece Viridescent set. It's my first time actually pronouncing Viridescent correctly, but anyways. So you would have a Geo character that kind of works like animal character, but you don't need any reactions. So Zhongli, DPS, a healer, and a support. Like you can put anything in there. If you need water, you can put water. If you need pyro, you can put pyro. So anything works. Should I talk about Xingqiu?
Yeah.
So for Xingqiu, basically all you need is his Q. You don't need to level him. All you need is Q. Because Genshin Impact right now is not hard, and especially when your DPS is really, really strong with all those constellations, your weapon refinement, you don't need him at level 90. No nothing. Level 1, no nothing. Just use his ult and then you're gonna destroy the enemies. So I would say that if you had been hearing people saying that you should be using Xingqiu for your pyro DPS, you should use him.
I mean, doing a reverse vaporize reaction will let Hydro stick on the enemy. That's why, like, the popular combo right now is Hu Tao Xingqiu. And the thing is, because it sticks afterwards, and Hu Tao charge attack has no internal cooldown. Only her normal attack gets internal cooldown. So that's why we use Xingqiu Hu Tao charge attack. You will vaporize both the normal and the charge hit.
Alright, so that's why Xingqiu is really good. And his best in slot weapon is Sacrificial Sword, which can be easily obtained while you're trying to get that your most wanted 5-star character, but you will always end up getting Chi-Chi. Feels bad.
Shall I talk about Bennett?
Oh, your favorite character, Bennett, yes.
Yes. What else is it to say, right? He's your DPS support healer, energy recharge. He literally does everything, right? I guess his biggest upside that people look at is his attack buff, right? He's the only one in the game with an attack buff field so far, right? I don't know if they're planning to add something in the future, but it's an attack buff field that also provides healing. It only heals you up to 70%, and for some reason that ticks people off, right? So he heals you just enough to stay alive, provide the attack buff, and he also is the fastest energy recharge in the game, right? So it's 2 energy every 2 seconds within his ult, and he also does quite a bit of DPS. Well,
okay, so we are going to move on to tier 1 list. We don't have much to say here, but because this is my tier list, I would like to just leave some comment on Xiangling and Noelle. I would like to say that they are useful characters, and if I didn't have any options, I just wanted to let newer players to look at this tier list and say, oh, I can actually use Xiangling and Noelle. I should go for that, because they should. Unless they're going to be spending money for that, they should, you know, invest their resource into these. And for other DPS heroes, we have Hu Tao, Diluc, and Klee. They're all DPS, right? For Pyro, and they're really great. If they get along with Xingqiu, they're really great. So there's that. And for Mona, I would like to say Mona is not so good in terms of DPS. Unless you have a lot of constellation. Even if you have all those constellations, she's not one of the best DPS, I would say. However, she has a really funny or a really odd mechanism where if she uses Q.
For Mona Q, for her Omen debuff, the pop damage is her own damage, right? So most people don't understand, but like Mona Q is actually an 8-second stun on small enemies. If you hit them, the stun pops, right? And that's the one that does damage. The other part of her ult is like the Omen debuff. When she press her ult, all enemies in the area will be affected by the debuff for 5 seconds, and they take 60% more damage from all sources.
If their talent level is over 10?
Yeah, it scales from 40 to 60, right?
Oh,
40
yeah,
to 60% more damage.
Just wanted to make sure.
The interesting combo you can do, and the very popular one, is the Mona Ganyu comp. Because if the enemy is frozen, the Omen debuff stays. It stays on them as long as they are frozen. So that's why Mona and Ganyu are so powerful, because literally you permanently have a 60% damage up with Mona Ganyu.
And then you can also create melt with Pyro because they're frozen.
Yeah, you can melt afterwards, but then yeah, the debuff will expire, of course. But yeah,
Mona is really interesting. So you would see a lot of Mona in a lot of the Dame Showcase videos, as well as Sucrose. I wouldn't say Sucrose is like the best character to be in the tier 1 list, but I would say she kind of belongs into T1 because although she's replaceable, she's definitely one of a kind.
that is true. Yes, I just kind of don't want to rate Sucrose too high because based from what I see, right, I don't see Sucrose in any team comp except when it's a one shot or a speed run comp, right? She's only used in those kind of like trying
Yeah.
to set up a cool one shot for a clip, right?
Yeah.
Rather than in an actual comp. But maybe there are actually people that use Sucrose more often.
To be honest, Code, I don't want to make people mad or anything, but when I say who uses Sucrose, people would get mad. But I've never seen people using Sucrose in their videos unless, like you said, if it's not like a speed running or like a one-shot
I can
comp.
already see people saying, but she can group people together.
It takes a long time. No, just hit
The
them one
rage
more time.
comments are coming.
Okay, we're not saying she looks like, okay? She looks cute. And all those characters in Genshin Impact, they are good looking, okay? They are sexy, they are hot, they look cute and handsome, okay? But we're just trying to give better idea for the newer players to take a look at those tier lists and try to understand what would be good to work on. Like, it would have really helped me a lot if I wasn't a YouTuber and look at a very nice tier list where there would be more than one person just talking about a character, right? So just trying to help. So what you can do is leave a comment and say whatever Tenha said is not true. And just state your reason so that people can just read your comment and judge on their own. Okay? And then I really wanted to hide this. So on tier 2, you would see Keqing. Because right now, I see that Double Dash video is becoming viral. So I can already see people getting mad with Keqing being in tier 2 on my list. But I just want to let you know that I tried my best to utilize her. And I do understand that electro elements help you get rid of the shield.
It's like the true neutral, yeah.
Yeah. So I would say in that case, it's pretty good. Oh no, they're gonna click on dislikes. Oh no, please help me. I love Keqing. You know what? Code tried to use her as well. You like her as well, Code? Yeah?
Yes, she's a really good energy recharge. But yeah, I level my EQ. I didn't level my auto.
Oh, yeah.
I use her as an EQ, yeah.
And it works pretty great.
Yep. I mean, it's like 130,000 damage with no buffs, right? Not like, not Bennett, not Zhongli buffs or something. I can pretty much one-shot a Rune Guard with just EQ, so it's good. It's just where I insert my build.
There it is, guys. Don't hate us, alright? Don't hate us. We really want Keqing to be great again. And that double dash thing for Keqing, I'm not so sure.
It's a really cool tech, yeah. It looks really fancy. So is it a bug or is it intended?
Should be a glitch. Well, let's see how it goes. I just hope Keqing would be better. Okay, I will be trying to do that. And if it turns out to be a legitimate skill you can use in the game, then I would try to advertise that she can be better. Anyways.
Oh man, I realized we put all the electro character on tier 2 or lower. I can really see the Razor and Fischl mains raging.
My Razor, guys, is probably stronger than most of your Razors built. So, I don't know what you can say to me, but Razor is good indeed. Yeah, you can call me a meta chaser. It's okay. But we are gonna go ahead and take a look at his tier list and see what is the difference. Okay, so for his list, we are missing Noel Xiangling went to tier 2. You have Diona in tier 0. And because we already talked about Diona, we're okay with this tier 0. She falls under the criteria of Melt and Reprise character. So that is a great character to have in either tier 0 or tier 1. So I agree with this. And you have all those main DPS characters in tier 1 as well. I have noticed something here. You put Barbara and Lissa down in tier 3. I believe you have mained and crowned Lissa. Is there a reason why you put her in tier 3?
Okay, as a person that has crowned Lisa 3 times,
You crowned 3 times?
I wouldn't say she's a good character to build, right? Because even with all the whale resources and like super high crit rate, high crit damage builds, I can only manage like without any buffs. With only the Pyro Resonance team, I can only hit around like 70k on my E, so it's relatively low compared to the amount of investment I can do on my other characters. Like that damage compared to the investment is way too low, yeah?
True.
My problem, it feels like Lisa is an out-of-place character. She feels a bit too slow to use compared to the other characters in the game, right?
Because she has to charge, right?
Yeah, and it feels even more awkward when her C6 is the one that enables her to actually play normally, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the C6 where when you take the field, you put 3 stacks on the enemy, right? And that's
Mhm.
how I'm hitting, right? I know I made a lot of people think that sometimes my Lisa is really powerful just because she's hitting like 70k or something, but if I put the same artifact over another character, they do better, right?
True.
The redeeming factor of her is like, if there's ever like an endless horde event where you have to kill waves and waves of enemies, she'll be really good.
Mhm.
And my other problem with her is that her Q, the electro Telsa thingy, why the heck does it push enemy away? It doesn't even need to be on an overload, it just naturally push enemy away. I don't get it. It's like you want them to be in there, right? Oh, it's so awkward. I don't know.
I guess we can do one thing.
Yeah?
We can use Venti.
Yeah, I just use Zhongli and drop a meteor down, but you know, then again.
I totally understand the reason why you would put her there. Okay. Did you actually talk about this on your channel? If not, we should work on a video. You need to. Okay, guys. If you want to find out about Lisa, okay, what you need to do is head over to OK Code's channel right now and hit that subscribe button, alright? Because he's going to make one.
I would make one, but I'm in the process.
You don't have to have a perfect build.
Wow, OCD, it's hitting me. I need one more. I have like 4 out of 5 pieces with 37% crit damage or more already. Alright, so there's one more thing that I know everyone is gonna kill me for. Qiqi and Barbara are only good if you're a new player. Don't use them, please. As I said earlier, there are 2 types of players in this game, right? There are the players that heal just enough to stay alive, and there are the players that feel uncomfortable if they're not full health. Qiqi and Barbara are for the second type of players. They have a very, very big downside. They are support characters that need another support to help them get their ult.
That is exactly the reason why you would put Noelle and Xiangling in tier 2 instead of tier 1. So
yeah, it's just, I feel like they've become more of a detriment to the team rather than actually providing for the team, right? I guess if you compare like this, right? For Qiqi and Barbara, when they use their E, they generate no energy particle, right? They do heal you every 2 seconds, right?
yeah.
And the cooldown is like 15:30 and then 12:24, right?
Yeah.
The problem is, right, when you use that heal aura, either these two have to stay on the field themselves to start hitting the enemy to get the healing proc on your team, or you switch to your other character and wait 2 seconds for the heal, yeah?
Yes.
You compare that to Diona. When you put a barrier up, no matter which character you swap to, they get the benefit immediately, right? You don't have to wait for a 2-second delay or anything. If you can prevent damage from happening in the first place, you don't need the healing, right? If you have their ult does seem more powerful than Diona in terms of like bringing your team back to full health, right? But the issue is they never get their ult. They have no way of generating energy, right?
Totally understandable. I fully agree with Code right now because, like, if you guys think really hard, in order for you to make Qiqi or Barbara useful, what did you guys do? Think about what you have done. You've been farming all those baby Lovisit, and then you literally found out that if your Qiqi is level 80 or 90, you have those like level 90 weapons. It's better if you go for Noblesse 2-piece and then 2-piece, I don't know, Cryo set, and then give her some kind of a DPS, you know, artifacts, and then do...
You build a DPS Qiqi? I mean, she does have like a 500 damage mod, but like, it's... How often does she get her ult?
The problem is, like, some people would make a video and say that, you know, this is how you should be building Qiqi. And then with those whale resources, it works. But for most of you guys, it's not gonna work. So I don't understand why people are just, you know, just watching those videos and be like, oh, that's how I'm supposed to build Qiqi, and just ditch all those maybe Lovisit.
It's like an idea, but like, yeah, it's unfortunate. I feel like Qiqi might need a little bit of a rework, some help, right, to make her fit with the current meta-ish teams. But then again, right now, there's no content in the game where you really need to min-max your team to actually be able to clear. Hence why, you know, you can always just clear the game with like Chi-Chi and Bobber as a healer. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just the other character will make it a lot easier for you. Because, you know, in Abyss, right? The hardest content in the game, you're on a timer, right? So what would you like to do? Heal just enough to stay alive, but have characters that improve your damage instead? Or stay alive longer, but you miss one DPS spot because these two characters are not doing anything, right?
Yes. Fortunately though, I think our viewers are mature enough to understand that Chi-Chi is not so good character, I would say.
Listen, I don't care if you're gonna like defend Chi-Chi or anything. Just know that if we blame Chi-Chi enough, maybe we should get a buff. Just say that she's weak. Let it be her, not Chi-Chi. It feels horrible, right? I'm pretty sure I saw like 9 people pull Chi-Chi on Hu Tao banner already.
That is true. I don't know why, but whenever I get a off-banner character, I get Chi-Chi. I don't know why, but anyways. So I would like to revise my tier list and match it up with codes, just because he added one more criteria where he would also talk about energy charge and energy particles.
We have converted him.
Oh yes, you converted me. But also I just want to let you new players to know that if you're a new player, you can use everything. Just try to focus onto elemental heroes than your traveler. Although your traveler will look like he or she is going to carry you until late game, but they're gonna fall off, okay? Unless you have some nice characters. Some people would like to show off their Geo Traveler just because they have Zhongli. I think that is pretty dumb. I'm not gonna say that the combination with Geo Traveler and Zhongli is bad, but then again, if they were to say that Geo Traveler is good, because they're good with Zhongli. So anyways, there it is, guys. We did it. Like Mr. Code and I, we tried our best to avoid this, because in every tier list video, we see people arguing and calling each other idiots and dumb, you know, they should quit the game. I was like, wow, what is this? Like, is this a Genshin Impact video or just, I don't know, some political video where they are always like mad about each other? But anyways, thank you, Code, for sharing your opinion with me. I just wanted to let you guys know that Mr. Code is really good at playing this game. Also, he's got all those knowledge, he's good at explaining things, and he got really famous for using all those 4-star characters that people didn't really like. What he did was he would look at a tier list and look at the F section and he would go for it. He looked at Beidou at F. He goes, okay, let's make this character to be great. And then that's what happened on our very first collaboration video.
I don't know what you mean. I use free to play, so that's why I use 4-star.
Oh,
Yes.
I see, I see. That's why
Yep,
he used a 4-star. Yes, because
Yeah,
he's
that's why I
F2P. Alright, so he's a really good friend of mine and I really respect him as another content creator. If he sucked at making those contents or streaming, I wouldn't have recommended you guys. Okay, Code, but you should check him out, guys. He's a really good person and an F2P. You should be able to relate to him better than me.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. Hey, Code, thank you so much for doing this video with me.
Anytime.
If I get on so much, can we do this again?
Sure.
Okay, okay.
I don't-
Alright, alright. Okay, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this long video. And if you guys have any question or your opinion, please leave them in the comment section to let us know what you think. I would love to read or get to know your opinion. I'll see you guys later. Adios.